Chris Craver is Senior Vice President and Head of Digital Products at Valley Bank. Good to see you, Chris.
Good to see you too, Steve.
So you will admit that you're one of the students in the Valley Leadership Academy that I teach in. You admit this?
I will admit that. I'm an early entrant, yes.
Yeah, and one of the first things I picked up about you when I read about your description of what you do is you are engaged in digital technology at a time where more and more people who rely on banking, and that's all of us, more and more people want and need digital technology. Fair?
That's right. I would agree with that.
But for old school folks, including myself in some cases, where we're wary and like, really, seriously, can it all be done digitally? Can I just go to my branch? What do you say to folks who are hybrid that way? Because I'm kind of hybrid, and I know I'm not alone.
Yeah, look, I mean, there are certain things that in the near term, we're not going to be able to digitize. So, if you need a cashier's check because you're, buying a car, it's a good place to, go to, to be able to do that, to go to a branch. But there are things you can do 24/7 by 365 at home, and that's get access to your finances, be able to look over your bank statements. And actually, there's some new and interesting, and I think pretty valuable tools and services that we're starting to offer. We recently launched an ability for people to get a holistic view of their finances, whether it's at our institution or at other institutions. So you can start to set goals, manage your budgets, really get that overall picture of what your financial situation looks like. And you can't do that without digital.
But Chris, this is one of the things that I do think about a lot. And again, I know I'm not alone in this. Issues of security, issues of whether you call it cyber security, or I don't care what you call it, but how secure are we?
Well, Steve, I'll tell you, there are a lot of bad guys out there for sure. And they're after our information, both our identity and certainly our bank accounts. Now, I'll tell you, for our institution, we do have multiple layers of security. Some of the things you see, like when you sign in and you log in, some of the things you don't. And it's for good reason. We don't want you to see that, or the bad guys to see that. But we've got a team of information security professionals that are behind all that. But all those things said, I know it doesn't address necessarily some of the fears that people have. There are some best practices that people can take when they look and balance, the benefits of going to digital and some of the potential risks. So, some of those best practices are things like when you sign into your digital accounts, you can set up things like notifications and alerts. So if there's ever a transaction on your account, you know about it right away, and you can contact us if it's something that isn't recognized or something that you didn't do. It's also important education these days as we start to get, those fishy emails or those things that, we're not really sure if it's from our financial institution or not. It's important to know, you can call us up, you can bring it in, you can talk to us, was this us, was this your financial institution or not? Be wary, that's important, and be cautious. But with the benefits come some risks, but we need responsibility.
You used the word education, Chris, and the issue of financial literacy, particularly for younger people. How do you deal with that? And can we help people, I shouldn't say kids. We have two teenage boys, one about to turn 20 in the fall. And I realized they don't understand much about financial literacy banking because some of us have not really helped in the process. We'll take care of that. Don't worry about it. That's a problem.
I would agree with you, Steve, as a father to 6 and 9-year-old boys. And those boys are very much interested in Minecraft coins. If you don't know what those are, you probably don't want to.
We have 17 and 19, and they're at the Minecraft as well, but go ahead.
Okay, good. There's some responsibility we have as parents, but I also think, the way I like to think about it is, you wouldn't let, I'm sure you don't let your teenagers, or haven't let them behind the wheel of the car without some education that went into that process. And we have to look at financial education in much the same way, because there's a lot of self-harm and harm to others that can be done without proper knowledge in managing your finances.
Yeah. For say there's some folks a little bit older than that, they're in their 20s, early 30s, and they want to secure their financial future. The stock market, as we do this program at the end of May, up, down, peaks, valleys, whatever. Who knows where it's going? What advice do you have for younger people, a little bit older than teenagers, who want to start thinking about their financial future?
Yeah, so I think, look, the important thing is understanding, learning how to budget. And it sounds so simple, but it really is, in the good times, it's oftentimes you're not, looking at that so closely. And now, we are headed into presumably an economic downturn. And so along with that, we have much more mindfulness on our expenses with inflation and our earning. So how do we look at budgeting? As you mentioned, investing is really important. How do we also look at saving? Because I don't know about you, but when I look at my investment portfolio right now, it's not in the greatest spot, certainly where it was maybe a year ago. I think the other two things I would say are responsible use of credit. It's easier now more than any other time, especially when you go online, to be able to pay for something over time. I'm old enough to remember going into the department store, and if you wanted something and you didn't have the money for it, you put it on layaway. And so, those things don't exist anymore.
I'm sorry, Chris, for interrupting. You mean as opposed to I want it and need it now? Got to get it now.
As opposed to instant need gratification, Steve. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and so, there's plenty of opportunities and pitfalls there, but responsible use of credit. And finally, the last thing I would say, it really, maybe it's the first thing, is for people to find a money management hero. And that may be an uncle, an aunt, a grandmother, or a parent, or someone else that find that person that you can trust and learn from and have these conversations.
Keyword is trust. Chris Craver, Senior Vice President and Head of Digital Products at Valley Bank, one of our underwriters at the Caucus Educational Corporation. Hey, Chris, all the best to you and the team. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, I'm Steve Adubato. That's Chris Craver. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, PSE&G, Choose New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, Community Food Bank of New Jersey, Summit Health, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, and by New Jersey Sharing Network. Promotional support provided by Jaffe Communications and by ROINJ.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sharif Elnahal. Did you know that there are nearly 4,000 New Jerseyans waiting for a life-saving transplant? And 67% of those people are people of color. Just one organ and tissue donor can save 8 lives and enhance the lives of over 75 people. Let's come together to raise awareness in our diverse communities. Donation needs diversity. You have the power to make a difference. For more information or to become an organ and tissue donor, visit www.njsharingnetwork.org.